All right, thank you this afternoon for coming to Dothan City Schools. I'm Megan Dorsey, the Public Relations Officer for Dothan City Schools. Just some housekeeping. The order of agenda, Dr. Coe will come up first. Dr. Bland from Dothan High School's principal will be coming up after Dr. Coe. Then Athletic Director Coach Noble, and then Head Football Coach Coach Kennedy will be coming up next. And then Dr. Coe will close with question and answers. Some further housekeeping. Mr. Early's family will not like to be filmed, so please respect their privacy, as well as all questions and answers will be by Dr. Coe and only Dr. Coe. All right, Dr. Coe.
Thank you, Megan, and thank you to all of you that are here today and joining us. As you all know, we had an unfortunate event that took place this past Friday night on the Dothan High School sidelines. After being made aware of this incident, I asked Dr. Bland, the school principal, and Coach Noble, our district-wide athletic director, to conduct a full investigation. Coaches, players, and others close to the system were interviewed in regard to this incident. And while it's most certainly unfortunate, it's apparent to me that this was an isolated incident and not indicative of the true character of Coach Kennedy. Coach Kennedy met with me, Dr. Bland, and Coach Noble this morning. We affirmed as a district the expectations that we have of our employees and collaboratively laid out a plan for how do we move forward. While we maintain that personnel actions remain confidential, I can share with you that this plan moving forward contains personal, professional, and financial consequences for Coach Kennedy. I can also share with you that any further actions of this nature will result in more extreme measures. Coach Kennedy is in the midst of what has proven to be a magnificent career as a football coach. We support his efforts thus far to bring unity, pride, and success back to Dothan football. We recognize that there are also areas that we need to improve, and we want to take this opportunity to help Coach Kennedy grow both as an individual and as a coach. At this point, I'll turn it over to Dr. Keith Bland, the high school principal.
And Dr. Coe shared a lot of information already. You know, we did have a meeting this morning with Coach Kennedy, and I've met with Coach Kennedy, and he expressed sincere remorse for his actions, and after the game apologized to Coach Early individually, and he also apologized to him again in front of the team. Coach Kennedy's strengths are his passion and his intensity for which he not only coaches, but also the high expectations he places upon his players. He too places that same level of expectations upon himself, and I know he's he's sincerely remorseful for what occurred at the game on Friday night. Moving forward, I have given specific expectations in regards to how I expect him to represent our school, our football program, and our community in behavior and actions. After addressing the team today, and after meeting with Coach Kennedy, it is in best interest to have Coach Kennedy remain in this position as head football coach with expectations being met. Thank you. I'll turn it over to Coach Noble, Athletic Director.
As you all know, there was a sideline incident Friday night versus Opelika during the fourth quarter involving Dothan High's head football coach Jed Kennedy and volunteer Early Walker. Coach Kennedy apologized one-on-one to Early Friday night and also apologized to him in front of his staff and his team. Coach Kennedy and Early are on good terms, as well as Early's family, and both parties want to move forward as soon as possible. Coach Kennedy is highly respected everywhere he has been fortunate enough to coach and has had a lasting impact on schools years after leaving. In his short tenure at Dothan High, the same positive impact has developed in the halls and on the football field at Dothan High through his relationships with his players, with his students, and with the faculty and staff of Dothan High. Coach Kennedy made a mistake and is very remorseful that this incident took place. Effective immediately, Coach Kennedy will be suspended from all duties for 1 week. All other disciplinary actions that are included in this incident will remain a personnel matter. Although this unfortunate incident took place, our trust in Coach Kennedy as the leader of our football program and as a leader of our student athletes has not wavered. Thank you.
So I think Coach Kennedy does want to make a few comments, as well as the coach.
I've been coaching football for 20 years. Most have been serving athletes in Wisconsin, but over the last several years in Alabama. On Friday night, I made a mistake I will never forget. A huge mistake, and there's no excuse for it. I've apologized to those involved and taken measure to make sure that it does not happen again. To Early, I'm sorry. To Early and the Walker family, I'm sorry what this has caused on your family. Today, I extend my sincere apologies to this community and those who have entrusted me to lead. Please understand that I have poured myself into these young men, and I love them dearly. Like many, I'm a work in progress. I will continue to become a better person and football coach moving forward. I love this school, this community, the coaches, and mostly the players. Thank you.
So you can see the passion that Coach Kennedy still has. That's one of the things that attracted us to him and him to us when we made that hire. He is passionate about what he does. He does take pride in what he does. I'm thankful for the Walker family that's here with us today. They are here, didn't want to be seen on camera, but we certainly appreciate their support and wanted me to communicate to you as out in the public that the Walker family is ready to see us move past this. So this is something that we can overcome. It's something that we will overcome as a school system, as a school, and as a coach, and as a football program. We're going to overcome this. We're going to learn from it, and we're all going to be better from it. And I think it's our job as educators to try to mold people, and that sometimes includes staff. And I certainly think that we want to give everybody the ample opportunity to make corrections in their actions and continue to move us in a positive direction. So I will take some limited questions if we have.
I have three, and I'll be very brief. Number one, how much did the views of the Walker family play into this decision?
Well, certainly, I mean, we wouldn't be moving forward if they weren't fine with us in the actions that we're taking. I think in the end, what you had was an incident that occurred in the heat of the game. As Coach Noble alluded to, Coach Kennedy pulled Mr. Walker in, Coach Walker in immediately after the game and made his apologies to him in front of the team, where he was at that point immediately remorseful about what happened. So, you know, there continues to be a positive relationship with Coach Kennedy and the Walker family, and that does play tremendous impact on our decision.
Number two, could you just briefly reiterate what you said? You said financial and other ramifications.
Well, there's personal. I mean, you can look at Jed's reaction, and he's taken a personal beating over this. I mean, I've been, you know, as we in public figures, we take personal the things that are charged, but there's some financial implications that'll go along with this.
Would that be indicating he's not going to get paid for the week?
That would be a good assumption.
And my third question, and I know you can't speak to any specific thing, but if there had been students, players that had been kicked off the team for bad behavior and for, say, for fighting, then how do you justify this?
Well, you know, here we don't have an all-blown fight. I mean, here you've got one instance that was reactionary in the heat of a moment. We do, if we have students that have reactionary things happen, you know, kids aren't going to fight and continue to, you know, to go on. That's a completely different matter. So,
But you feel satisfied?
I feel comfortable with the plan that we have moving forward. I feel confident that not only us, but Coach Kennedy knows what the expectations are moving forward. I feel confident in that he understands what the implications will be should anything further happen.
I thank you, Dr. Coates.
Who will be interim this week, head coach?
Coach Noble, who?
Justin Jones.
Justin Jones, assistant head coach.
And assuming you make the playoffs, he returns as head coach next week.
He will return Monday, yes.
So the suspension started
Today.
today, and then we'll go till next Monday.
That's correct.
And then kind of how you guys saw, like, because the video kind of took to like national medias, and so when you did that play into any of the decision making at all?
No, I mean, we make decisions, and I try to tell our people, I'm a former athlete, and anybody that's played sports before knows, you tune out the noise and you look at what occurred. I mean, what occurred here in our mind was a limited instance on the sidelines, shouldn't have happened, it was wrong, it needs to be dealt with, and the rest of it that's out there is just noise.
And then will precautions be taken into place kind of with, because I know sideline interferences have always been a problem in college football, NFL, whatever, in high school, where you have like pullback people or, you know, you get back coaches, whatever you want to say. But in any sport with like a coach getting hot-headed, will like precautions maybe be put into place now that kind of this happened, kind of being like, hey, so this doesn't happen maybe again?
Well, and I think that's part of what led to this instance. We had been flagged, you know, prior to in the game, and the fear was that the second flag that was thrown would have resulted in the negating of the winning touchdown. So I think that's what sparked the entire situation to start with, and I think that's something that as a coaching staff they'll be addressing as a staff, and how do we do a better job of cleaning that up on the sideline.
Has there been, you know, other formal meetings concerning his behavior? Because I know a couple of weeks ago there were some episodes, perhaps on the sideline. Have y'all met with him previously, or?
Dr. Bland has had conversations with him with a staff member. Coach Noble meets regularly with the coaches. I believe weekly, right? Coach? You meet
Monthly.
monthly with the coaches. So there are regular meetings, yes.
Any changes in who's allowed on the sidelines type thing?
That's something that we are evaluating. We do require all of our volunteer assistants to go through a background screening process, but I think that is something that we do need to take a closer look at in the future.
Thank you, Dr. Coates.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mayor.